Hi everyone, welcome to Glow's Kinder Kitchen, and I'm Glow. Well, today I decided I would show you a recipe that I've made over the years, many different ways. This way I'm doing it today I called smothered hamburger steak. But it's super easy, and it's a great dish to make any time of year because you don't use your oven for it. And I thought going into summer, this might be one that you guys would be interested in to cook up for dinner, and it doesn't take long at all. So let's go ahead and get started. One of the reasons I decided to do this today is I had some ground beef left over. I had made a meatloaf last night for dinner, but I didn't need all of it. So I probably have about 3/4 of a pound here, I'm guessing. And so that was one of the things that prompted me to do this today. So the first thing I do is I'm going to turn on my burner, medium, and I have the sauteing olive oil here, and I'm going to just go ahead and pour in a couple of tablespoons. That's probably maybe a tablespoon and a half. And then I'm going to put in the same amount of butter. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in. The reason I'm doing the two in combination is by putting that olive oil in there with the butter, it will prevent the butter from burning. Just a little tip. And then after this goes in, the butter melts, I'm going to be putting a few of my onions here. I have one medium onion here that I had sliced up and also chopped. The reason I did the two in combination is I'm going to put some of these slices in here to start with. And the reason I'm doing that is because it'll give that butter and oil a wonderful flavor for our hamburger steaks. So while that's heating up there, we're going to go ahead and get busy with the rest of it. I have one egg that I've beaten here, and I'm going to be adding in a shy quarter of a cup of panko breadcrumbs. You could use saltine crackers, you could use Italian breadcrumbs, whatever you have on hand will be just fine for this. Just remember, it's your kitchen, and you know what your family likes for flavors and stuff like this, so you do whatever you want. And then I also sliced up some mushrooms here. There's about a cup. And that's going to go into the gravy along with the onions after we get this put together. So one thing I do need to mention is when I make my gravy, today I'm going to be using my potato water. And because of that, I'm not going to be adding a lot of salt into this in this part because I have salt in my potato water. So think about that when you're putting stuff together, what it has a lot of salt and, or spices, so you don't get too much. So that's the reason why you're not going to see me putting in a lot of salt at this step. So I'm going to go ahead and add my one beaten egg and my shy quarter of a cup. This is probably between an eighth and a quarter of a cup here of the panko breadcrumbs. And I took my rings off because I'm going to be making up some patties here. We don't need that. I am going to be adding some onion powder, just a few dashes, and the same with garlic powder. Now I also have in my potatoes onion powder and garlic powder. So this is going to pair really well together. And one of the things that I'm going to add today is some celery seed. I like celery seed and stuff like this and dishes like this, and I also like it in my meatloaf. If you've never tried it, give it a try. It really adds a lot of flavor. I'm going to be adding in some ground black pepper.
How much was that, Miss Glow?
Oh, maybe a quarter of a teaspoon.
Okay.
And I'm going to put in a dash of Worcestershire sauce. The most is a teaspoon. So now I'm going to go ahead and get in here and mix all this up.
Getting messy.
Yeah. See how easy this is? It just comes together so nicely.
Looks good.
You could have fresh parsley in here with this if you wanted. I probably could have. I have some fresh. I usually keep fresh parsley on hand. I didn't even think about it when I was putting this together to do that, but maybe I'll put some in the gravy. We're also going to be doing a side salad to go along with this that will have parsley in it and mint, so that'll be good. So see how that comes together?
Yes.
The egg and the breadcrumbs or the panko crumbs actually will help this as far as binding it. And you can make these into patties, you can make them into an oval shape, whatever you want. But I'm going to wash my hands here for the moment because I want to put these onions in my butter and olive oil. So let me just come over here. I'm going to wash my hands. I always have a sink full of warm, sudsy water. It really helps to keep your hands clean, dishes clean. Just helps with cleanup. So I'm going to go ahead and put these in. Turn this down a little. Talking to it. There we go. I'm going to get a spatula. Oh, it smells good. Those onions, as they're sauteing here, are going to add a lot of flavor to this.
Does smell good.
Yep.
Butter.
I turn this down to low. Well, I've got a platter here, or plate. I didn't really need a whole platter. So I think I'm going to kind of do these about this size.
Okay.
Looks like we're going to get 3. So Richard will have 2 and I'll have 1. That'll be plenty for me.
I'll have one tomorrow.
Yeah, we have it for lunch.
With everything else we're eating, I don't know if I can eat 2. Don't want to get overly stuffed.
Oh, those onions smell so good.
They do.
There. And at this point, sometimes I will flour these before I cook them, but today I'm not going to. So I'm going to go ahead and take up these onions. I'm going to just put them right here in this dish along with the other ones that we haven't started to cook yet. Because this is all going to go into the gravy when we do that, so it'll be fine. No need dirtying up a dish you don't have to. And these few little onions here that I don't get out, it'll be fine. We'll just leave them in there. So my next step is I'm going to put these right in here. I'm going to turn my stove up a little. So these are kind of shaped like an oval that we did today. And then what I do is I press a little hole, like an indentation in the middle. And that helps to keep your hamburgers or whatever you're making about the shape that they started off as. If you didn't do this, I don't know if you've noticed when you're cooking, sometimes they'll change shape on you quite a bit. But this will help prevent that while they're cooking. It gives it room.
Another little tip there.
Yep. So anyway, I'm going to wash my hands. I got to wash my spatula, wash off this control knob, everything that I've touched with my dirty hands. And I'll be right back. Well, these have been cooking now about 4 minutes. And so let's see how they're keeping their shape still. We're going to go ahead and check them here and just see. Let me turn it this way. Is it brown on that side?
Yes.
Okay. So we're going to go ahead and start flipping.
Okay. Flip slowly.
Yeah, and by doing it the way I'm doing it, it'll help prevent from splattering.
On my leg.
I did lightly salt and pepper these once I had put them in the pan, and I, got everything cleaned up. So now they're going to continue to cook, but I'm going to just very lightly, and you can see how I do that. See how light that is?
Very light, Miss Gorham.
And pepper. Now these don't have to cook all the way through because we're going to be cooking these for a while in our gravy as well. So we're going to go ahead and let this continue to cook here, and I'll be back in about 4 minutes and I'll show you the next step. Well, it's been about 4 more minutes. Let's go ahead and just take a look at these. Look at that. Can you guys see that?
Oh yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and just take these up.
Fine.
And just put them on
a plate.
Yeah. I want to make sure you guys see that. See how nice that looks?
Yep.
I'll go ahead and put these on here. And that one's done too. See how nicely brown that is?
Very nice.
Now these aren't completely done, and that's fine because when we put them into the gravy, they'll finish cooking. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add those onions that I had already started to saute, along with the ones that are just chopped up. There we go. I wish you guys were here to smell this. This is just
You only had smell vision.
Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and put the mushrooms in too. This makes just such a nice, flavorful gravy. And I just stir these together into the drippings. And I'm going to let these saute for probably about 4 or 5 minutes, and then we'll be back and we're going to make the gravy together.
Sounds good.
Well, look at this, you guys. This has been sauteing now about 2.5 to 3 minutes.
Looking good.
See how nicely it cooks down? Now we're going to add flour. Now I usually add about the same amount of flour as the oil or butter or whatever you have in the pan. So this is probably maybe 3 tablespoons at the most. And we're going to let this flour brown so that it takes away from that floury taste. You want it to cook along with the onions and the mushrooms and start to brown. So I'm going to continue to do that, and once that starts to brown good, we'll be back, and it only takes about 3-4 minutes for that to happen for this particular type of gravy. But and then we'll be back and I'll show you the next step. Well, I've already flipped this once, so let's flip it again and just see what it looks like on the other side. Look at that, you guys. Can you see how that's browned so nicely there?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, flour is cooked. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add the potato water that I reserved from my potatoes that I was boiling. I have a total of 3 cups, 1 cup still in my jar that I poured it into, and I have 2 cups here. So we're going to start off with about a cup. Really talking to us.
Whoa, Nelly.
But by cooking with your, your potato water that you save, you're going to get a nice flavor into your gravy from the potato water because of the potatoes and also the other seasonings. Because remember, I had said that we had done onion powder, garlic powder, and then salt. Sometimes I put a bay leaf in, and that's really good too.
Don't have one available?
I do.
Oh, do you? Well, whatever you want to do.
I could even add it in here as it's cooking, which I might. That's a good idea. I'll have to get one out. Great idea. So I'm going to go ahead and add the additional amount here to make 2 cups. And you can make this even into like a milk gravy instead of a gravy like this, and I do that quite often as well. Either one is very good. What I'm doing right now is I'm sampling just to see how salty it is. Oh, it's fine. And the reason I wanted to test that is because I'm going to add some Than Bouillon. It's just kind of like, if you will, a bouillon cube. But I think this actually tastes a little better.
And that's salty too.
Yep. This one's reduced sodium that I bought.
Oh.
But yes, it does have salt in it. So it's always better to start off with less salt than more, because it's hard to take out.
That's for sure.
So we're going to start with that. That was about a teaspoon. I'm going to add a little bit of kitchen Bouquet. This stuff goes, a little bit goes a long way, so I'm not going to be putting much in.
Okay, and the
Just
bouquet.
a dash. That's plenty. This is really concentrated vegetable flavorings, and it goes really well with stuff like this, but you do need to be careful, because you can overdo it real quick. So I'm going to sample this again. That's good. That's very good. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in a little red wine. This is a dry red wine blend. And that's probably like 1/8 of a cup I just put in. When I'm doing gravies like this with beef, I find that the wine just really adds a lot to your dish. I'm going to sample it again. See where we're at. Oh, that is good. I'm going to do a little bit of pepper. That's maybe 1/8 of a teaspoon. I am going to add salt, but I'm going to do Himalayan salt, and maybe 1/8 to 1/4 of a teaspoon. See, it's hardly any.
Why Himalayan?
It adds a different flavor than regular table salt.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that's looking good, isn't it, you guys?
Looks
See, and
good.
you don't need to have those gravy mixes if you don't have one. I can't tell you the last time I bought a gravy mix. It's been years.
That's true.
Oh, that's excellent. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to just move that over to the side. And now we're going to put these little hamburger patties right back in here. I'm going to turn this down to low. What I'm doing is just covering these up with some of this gravy. And that's where it gets that smothered name.
Keep them moist.
This is just a delicious dish, you guys. I kind of forget about making it. I should make it more often than I do, because all these ingredients you usually have on hand. And I'm going to go ahead and just get the rest of these drippings down in here. That's just going to add more flavor. There we go. So now, let's put a lid on it. And this is going to sit here and simmer for anywhere from 20 minutes to 30 minutes. You can do it less if you want, but just remember, on low and slow. So I'm going to go ahead and get a bay leaf. I'm going to put it in here like Richard suggested, and we'll see you back in about a half an hour. Hi everyone. Well, dinner is ready. Look at this. Doesn't that look delicious? I'll tell you, the house smells awesome with the onions and the mushrooms and the hamburger steak. Oh, it does smell good. This hamburger steak is so tender and flavorful. And that gravy. I made a little side salad too to go with this. It has raspberries and blackberries and blueberries and tomato and cucumber and mint and parsley. Oh, you guys, this is a great meal. I wish you were here for dinner with us. It would be really nice. But anyway, I want to thank you for watching and taking the time out to do that. If you have any comments or questions, please feel free to ask. Give me a like and thumbs up and share with your friends. And again, thank you for watching. We'll talk to you later. Bye.